As it, folks, this was Gareth's poem. Everything you ever wanted to know about wanking, but were afraid to ask. The light shone down on wide staring eyes and slow-moving hands. The slossing sound prevailed through all hours of the day and night. In every nook and cranny, the silhouettes could be seen. The streets and bars were empty except for some female men and a lower species called women that roamed the streets in search of it. But it was covered by bony fingers enclosing the throbbing energy that was erased by some quirk of the mind. But how did it all start, the symphony of the Wankers? Who was the man that discovered the pleasure, and how did the technique spread to all corners of the earth? I'll tell you how I think it happened. It was a timeless forest, no breeze, no sneeze. Only the sound of birds and the gurgle of the stream flowing into the foggy green where Eve was washing fig leaves for the party that night. And that same clearing in the forest, not 2 meters away from Eve, the first wanker was lying on the sand, tanning, while he watched Eve going through her paces. Her back was turned to him, and every time she bent over to watch the leaves, he couldn't help but look into it all, the spot men will fight and die for, the sleuths. Well, that's what they called it in those days. It was after about a minute of watching old curly hair spiraling sideways at him that he became aware of something stirring lower down his own body. And when he looked down, he saw this monster grinning up at him. With a cry, he jumped up and grabbing the animal by its throat, he tried to wank it from his body, but to no avail. After about 5 minutes of unbelievable struggle, the animal suddenly erupted into life and spat him right between the eyes, splashing poison all over his face. And when he looked down, it appeared the animal had used up all its energy, for it slowly died and slipped from Adam's hand to swing wrinkled and lifeless in the breeze. It was later written that Adam stood around the whole day with a vacant look on his face, and Eve complained to the apple tree, because every time she was doing the washing, Adam had to fight the snake-like animal, and that Adam was useless after such a battle, for then he slept under his own tree and never cuddled up to her, especially on washing days. Chapter 2, Everything You Wanted to Know. The New Freedom for Men, Wankers Unite. It's the year 1999 now. We've been through all the stages of our civilization: Dark, Middle, Renaissance, Victorian, Avant-Garde, Anglo-Boer War, when incidentally the wanking movement enjoyed a brief moment of support, but then petered out in depression, plus minus 1920, 1930, when people did not even have the strength to breathe. What really triggered the wankers into mobility was the women's liberation movement just after the big bra burn ceremony in Ventersdorp on 10 September 1968. Suddenly the male was exposed to free swinging mammalian glands, where even the nipples were visible through the thin material of that time. Another contributing factor was to bear a woman, you had to treat her first. That again involved money, which the mate at that stage did not have. So to avoid frustration, they did to wanking. From a sociological, psychological, criminological point of view, much can be said for wanking, and the sport wanking enjoys at this stage is clearly reflected in our society with a drop in the birth rate, which resulted in a population growth stall. According to the earlier sociologists, wanking was seen as a form of defiant, deviant behavior related to a deprived childhood and dominating parents. This can't be said anymore, for the Wanker Unite movement incorporation has resulted in a drop of the rape, suicide, crime, theft rate, etc. See van Rensburg, Modern Behavior, 1998. Nationale Pers, beperk, Kaapstad. Concluding this book, the third and last chapter will be compiled from letters from our readers. We'll try to answer all your questions and also give a brief description of that moment, alone in the void, where nothing matters but you and the movement. Everything you wanted to know. Wanking, poetry, and trends. To conclude the history of wanking, we place one of the poems sent in by one of the readers. Silent battle in the dark, watching silhouettes in the park, flashes of thighs and tits, and comfy backy slips, with picture memories and burning lust, to play with the family jewels. Slyly around he scans, to shyly drop his pants, gently he lifts it out, to tickle it yet for another bout. Curiously watches the tender grow, 10 feet tall. He wanked it up and he wanked it down, and kept it up till dawn, till it tickled out warm, till the sun lit the morn. Only then did he release the storm and shot his guts out on the lawn. As can be seen from this poem by the famous American poet Play O'Toole, wanking isn't a subject to be talked behind closed doors anymore. It enjoys immense popularity in the States, and Americans can truly be called a nation of wankers. Everywhere men are walking around with slogans on their t-shirts. I'm a wanker. Wankers unite. Wanking is good fun. Wank me. The women liberation movement is hitting back at the wankers over, and a popular slogan is the one, wanking leaves me dry. Number one on the hit parade in the States at this moment is a song called Wanking the Night Away by the Family Jewels and Other Accessories, the new wanking move band from Nashville. Number two is House of the Wanking Boys by Phallus, and number three is Blue Balls by the circumcised Suntanners from California. Wanking might, in the case of new members, cause blisters, and that's why they rolled out a new preventative lubricant called Wankerzine. That's all from the Wankers Unite movement at the States. Have a wanking time, and remember, the tool you've got is the only one you'll ever have. Can't be born, science for new one. So treat it well, and it will never let you down. Wankers Unite publishers, submitted by Wankers Unite movement. Editor, Wank Me Now. And I found Albert's thumb. If you're wondering, there's Albert's thumb. Good night.